Hello, I'm your host, Xavier Williams, and welcome to Frame by Frame, the show that introduces you to the beauty of animation. Today, we'll be talking about the art of 2D animation. 2D animation is created when two-dimensional images are rapidly sequenced together to create the illusion of lifelike motion. Today, we'll have an in-studio interview with animator and Hofstra University undergrad, Mike Grosso, and then we'll take to the streets to talk to other Hofstra students about how the university is expanding on its animation curriculum. But first, let's delve into the history of pioneers of 2D animation, the Walt Disney Company. Let's take a look.
The Walt Disney Company started in 1923 by two brothers, Roy and Walt Disney. While working on smaller projects in their earlier years, Disney hit the mainstream in 1928 with their animated short, Steamboat Willie. It was here that the eventual mascot of the company, Mickey Mouse, was seen in his first ever appearance. Audience members praised the film for its ingenuity, combining clever animation and wonderful music, something that the company would be known for in future years. The animated piece that sent them over the edge, however, was their first feature-length film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, in 1937. The film was made over the course of 3 years with a budget that exceeded $1.5 million. It became the highest-grossing film of all time when it was released, as the combination of beautiful animation, music, and acting put the film in a league of its own. In the immediate years after, the company hit financial trouble due to the loss of the overseas market due to World War II, despite still making critical darlings such as Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi.
A dream is a wish.
It wasn't until 1950 when the studio made Cinderella that the money began flowing in again, both overseas and stateside. The box office gross of $4.15 million worldwide helped fund projects such as Walt Disneyland in California and more films later on. The late 1960s and early 70s, films like The Jungle Book and The Aristocats showed that Disney was still capable of making animated classics that redefined the stories they were adapting. After the deaths of both Roy and Walt Disney, the company faced many struggles in their animated departments. It was in 1989, however, with the release of The Little Mermaid, where Disney once again revolutionized the game, keeping the charm of original Disney classics while making scripts work more like a Broadway play.
But who cares? No big deal. I want.
The movie was a success all around and kicked off what would later be known as the Disney Renaissance, that featured films such as Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast.
Come on and lift your glass, you've won your...
It was capped off with the making of The Lion King, an original story made by the company that would later become the highest-grossing animated film of all time. While currently Disney has moved away from the medium of 2D animation, the company set the precedent for animated filmmaking. When you think of Cinderella or Snow White, you think of the animated versions of the characters made by Disney. That, in itself, speaks to the power of the company and the impact they've made on cinema and in animation.
Disney's animated movies have all affected us in some way, shape, or form. Joining me now is someone who's been greatly inspired by Walt Disney's animated works, Mike Grosso, a passionate student and animator at Hofstra University in Long Island, New York. Thanks for being here today, Mike.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, when did you get first into animation?
I'd say as long as I can remember. I've been making flip books in class and getting up like really early for cartoons and stuff like that. I mean, not as often now, but it definitely something that's like had a big impact on me.
Lastly, what is your favorite 2D animation from Disney?
That's kind of hard to say. I mean, I love all the old celluloids, but I think my current favorite 2D film from them would have to be The Princess and the Frog. It's just got like this great energy to it that you don't see present in a lot of films today. Really about that like spectacle and still keeping the very intimate, close story beats with the characters. So yeah, I would have to say that that's my current favorite. It's very special.
Very, very special. So, you might be wondering, where can aspiring animators go to learn and practice their craft? Across the country, there are many schools that offer animation. Hofstra University is currently expanding their animation curriculum, and we talked with some former Hofstra animated students about what actually happens when learning about to make an animated piece. Let's take a look.
Well, like most things, it starts with an idea, and then from there, you kind of need to put the pen to paper, sketch it out, trying to figure out where you want to go with it.
Then you will draw out sort of the character in that starting action, and then you put them in that finishing action. You kind of put out certain key points where you want to look really good.
Sometimes it comes from other projects I'm working on, an idea that I don't want to waste it on that project, but I also don't want it to go unused.
It comes a lot from if I just doodle in class sometimes, I'll see something that I really like and I want to expand upon that, and I'll make maybe like a little flip book or something with that.
If you're looking to study animation, check out animationcareerreview.com for the top colleges that offer animation. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's episode of Frame by Frame. I want to thank Mike Grosso for coming in today. We hope you have enjoyed it. I've been your host, Xavier Williams. Tune in next week when we talk about 3D animation. Good night.